Clash qualifier, like the qualifiers were both Eastern Europe and Western Europe come together, and at Finham qualified and Secret qualified, I think, as well, and like it was madhouse. But the OG has been the gatekeeper of Team NIGMA ever since then. So I think this series is very exciting. Typically, when these two teams face each other, the games are very even and very close, just like the first season when they face each other. Let's take a quick look at the standings and see how close they are right now. And guess what? I already said it. They're tied with the standings
at 3 and 2
right now.
Tied.
Being shown. There we go. And then tiebreakers, but yeah, this is so important for putting yourself into just simple major contention.
Yeah, it's a must win.
What's wrong, Kyle?
Nothing's wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
I was hype at the end of the last series, and then I just I took a nap. Wake up like, oh yeah, well. Finally. All right, it's a rematch.
Yes.
It's the TI Finals version 2 with so much on. If one of these teams doesn't do well, basically, whoever wins this series takes the baton. That they then need to go perform at the major. Because otherwise, there's a very good chance that we see this exact matchup in the TI qualifiers with only one team actually being able to go.
Do want to point out, though, whoever wins here in this series right now, there's still a chance they're not going to major, because if you win here, you are guaranteed either major or tiebreakers. So you still are playing for your own fate, but it's not guaranteed that you'll go to major. There's actually a chance that these two teams will face each other again next week in the tiebreakers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
we love that.
We get a rematch. But no.
We do.
Refreshing.
Let's say Secret were to win, they'd go 4 and 3. The loser is 4. I mean,
math.
I just thought I'd let him do his thing. You know?
The big thing is to get the group stage berth, because both these teams are pretty low on points.
Yeah.
So group stage, 300 points means you need points at the major, but like a respectable top 6, top 4 might get you in versus having to go and win.
Yes, and at the moment it looks like Team Liquid obviously looks like they're on top because they are 4 and 2, but they still have to face OG. There's actually a chance still of a 4-way tie for the 3 spots, and nobody knows who's going to the group stages of the major, who's going to the wildcards, or who's not even going at all. It's very exciting. Let's start by talking about OG. We saw them last week. They had a fantastic series against Team Secret. We saw Saxa's clock pop off.
I'm happy you brought that up, because I feel, that series was pretty much Satsuka's kind of demonstration of why he's in the team. Obviously, there's a lot of people who use social media and naturally like to use a scapegoat scenario, and they're always, poor, unfortunately, when you're not part of the TI winning roster.
Where's Derek's?
Exactly. When's he's playing Dota again? But that series was his kind of shout to, I am clearly meant to be in the team, and it was like 13, 12, and 29 something on that clockwork. I'm hoping for that level of performance again, and then having him with that confidence going forward, because they looked so scary in that season because of how well he played.
They really did.
They're definitely growing as the season progresses. You can see they had some pains with Ana adjusting. The flow of the team is much better with him, but this is really, I think, the big test, because ultimately the winner of this is going to have a shot at second place. It's a big boon. I don't think anybody wants to play the wild card, even one of these teams. You got 2 squads from China coming in, just looking like maybe there's like an Elephant and LGD. I mean, IG major winners are quite likely, if not making it at all, in the wild card of the major. Good luck.
It is a scary competition indeed. And we have seen Ana back on the playing field, and he looked very, very good. We have not yet, however, gotten the chance to sit down with him until very recently.
Lisa steps outside of the fountain. The stones come out. Give a puppy. He just gets found and dove here. It's Ana's speciality. This is the place that he revels in. Diving into the fountain, over towards Matumama. They brought back for this.
They asked me if I was still interested in playing. It will be with the same guys anyway, so I just thought, why not? Just give it a shot. I didn't really play any Dota until I got to the bootcamp. I mean, I don't think I'm at the same level as I was before, but I pretty much just said yes, and I definitely think like I need to work on my own skill right now.
Dying Tusker. It looks like they just got the oh, that's all three. That's all three ults. No. Gone. Nothing achieved there.
So right now we're tied in 3rd place, but I haven't really thought much about the match, to be honest, but it's obviously really important for both teams.
But they're falling apart 1 by 1 here, Secret.
Sorry. Oh my god, dude, this.
I mean, they're chasing this with the rush.
The jumps.
We try not to think too hard about like how we want to play or like what heroes we want to play. It's just like whatever you feel in the moment, like just go for it. Like however you feel.
I mean, Yapsor certainly making them work. They're in. Yapsor goes down. It's a full team one.
Yeah, it looks like Anna is ready here to face a Team NIGMA. And, I mean, he is. We saw him last week. He says he's no longer in good form. Looked pretty good to me.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway from that interview is the fact he's saying, you know, they just play whatever they feel in the moment.
Yeah.
And that honestly is what kind of makes and breaks OG, where sometimes that moment, whatever they pick, is like, oh, it's game winning. And other times it's like, you really went for that? But like, I think it's just the confidence of aligning themselves to that is really what, you know, pushes the team forward.
Yep. Let's focus our attention to their opponents, Team NIGMA. They have looked really good. They started this season so strong, Kyle.
They did.
They did. Jesus, you gotta give me more than that.
Okay, Kyle, just quick workshop.
They 2-0
quick work-
Team Secret.
Shiva.
Smashed them.
We have to do the workshop. So it's yes and,
I'm
Kyle.
aware.
Yes, and.
So, all right, go on.
I
Thank
say
you
something.
for the mid-panel tips. I appreciate it.
There we go.
I would say that was also a bit, I don't want to call it a fluke, but that was not the same Team Secret. And we also saw NIGMA kind of riding that high. They were coming in hot. They had a lot of time to prepare for the new season. I don't want to put too much stock into that because they've been shaky since. This is the match.
Production's just helping you with the ands now, don't worry.
This is the match.
And?
You know, it's just, I can't focus.
This is the match that what, Kyle?
Production's just trolling him so much.
This is the match that what?
It counts. It's big.
That
It's
was
the TI finals, guys. We only get this once a season.
I will finish the sentence. This is the match that will solidify if Team NIGMA is actually good at the moment.
That's
Because
what
you're
I meant to
saying
say.
that they haven't really needed to prove themselves that much because oftentimes it wasn't necessarily them winning as much as the other
Well,
team losing.
I think the big storyline is just ILTW, right? Because, you know, I don't think Sox is not new, but he's the one man out when you look at the OG roster. Same with ILTW here on the side of NIGMA. They moved Miracle back to mid. Relatively controversial decision. It's worked out for them in the past. Will they continue to do so? I think a big part of that is ILTW, who has looked good. His Void's been on point. I think he's done his job, and their losses are just more due to just how damn close this region is in terms of skill level and strategy development.
Yeah, it's been a very close region indeed. We're going to also hear GH talk about the Middle Eastern Dota 2 scene.
Breaks Tofu.
A lot of up-and-coming talent from the Middle Eastern region for sure, and which is actually kind of interesting because it used to be Sweden and Eastern Europe that provided most of our up-and-comers. But we have seen a little bit of a shift.
Yeah.
I think if you just look at lower division alone, you've got Noob on Level Up. They just qualified for upper division.
They did.
You have Rajix playing offlane for Team Board. Like, these are the two guys that also played with GH in national teams in Lebanon for stuff. So you can see how he's also kind of imparting his knowledge and then helping those guys get a bit better. And now they're also in lower division, upper division. So yeah, it seems looking pretty good.
All right, for this series, Kyle, is there a clear favorite, do you feel?
I don't know, honestly. It's pretty tough to call. I think it really just depends on which team you're supporting right now. Really hard to expect something from the draft, because I think that even you can check out their Dota buff, study as much as you want. These squads have such large hero pools, you have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, it will be fun to try and break down the draft that we've got coming your way, because we all know that they always have their own plans and their own rules, and we're going to see it in action very soon, because the draft of this best of 3 right around the corner.
Five seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
Game 1 of this best of 3 coming your way here. DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel, upper division of the Western European DPC League. And yes, we already know who takes the crown, but who will be the bridesmaid? Is that how I say it? No?
What the?
Who will be third?
What are you on about?
Just second, third, and
Who's
fourth.
getting married?
It's fine. We have a draft ahead of us. We got OG, we got Team NIGMA, and we have bans so far. Here's also Kyle and Teagup. I got Asian Operation again. First phase picked. Aya Willow ban. Alchemist Lion ban. Very different from our previous series.
Big winner from the last time we saw NIGMA. Of course, Miracle wasn't playing, but this time Miracle is going to be playing. But when RMN stood in for them and played as mid-Bristleback, even though sure it was a stand-in scenario, that hero alone, just it was so strong.
Dude, and the bat as well, though.
Yeah, and I've checked Miracle, and he has been playing a couple Bristol games in his pubs. So maybe RMN stands in, plays mid-Bristol, suddenly Miracle's a fan. I would love to see it at some point in this series.
Yep, I like the opening ban and pick is just kind of what you expect when you've got teams and captains of this experience level. Alchemist and Wisp specifically are game breakers. However you play them, they completely alter the way you need to be playing Dota. AA denies a lot of the sustain heroes, notably Bristleback as an example. You won't really want to play it as much into an Ancient Apparition. The Warlock Tiny, pretty solid open. That could be GH, that could be Miracle, and realistically, it could even be ILTW on the Tiny.
Also, I love how every time No-Tail drafts, it looks like he's got 2 bodyguards behind him.
He does.
One is coach, one is manager, but just the posture alone, it's... Whew.
Hey, he might need bodyguards.
And that is a... Wow, okay. So Thompson's been playing Hoodwink, if I'm not mistaken.
Can confirm, and crunch the numbers, it's been in the pubs.
Indeed. Sox as well could be playing the Hoodwink. Now, I've only really seen this in NASA. It's a core, I think, more often in South America. In NA, Quincy Crew ran it quite a bit. MSS is a very proficient Hoodwink. A lot of early game potential. Your spells just seem to do too much damage. In addition, I think it was Fog telling me watching Thompson stream, he just had, no, it was BSJ was watching him play core mid Hoodwink and just went off about how this entire game. What are you doing, T-Gov? T-Gov is literally dancing. Sorry, guys.
I was excited.
He was dancing on his stream, consistently outplaying his opponents. A really annoying squirrel.
However, whenever OG picks it so far, it's always gone to Saxa.
Yeah, well...
But I guess flex pick.
Exactly. That's what's really coming into play here. Yeah, in regards to NIGMA, of course, they kind of somewhat block the Tiny, because AA Tiny, of course, is a very potent combination. But I like how, at least with this Hoodwink pick, it's non-committal damage they're looking at, right? They're going to be playing from like Bushwhack, Sharpshooter from a distance. AA can just apply Vortex to amp that damage. And now it's like a lot of poke and prod. So here's like Tiny, where they need to initiate. If they fail that initiation, they're instantly have to retreat, lock them in place, and then just kill them up quite quickly.
This will be the first Tiny for Team NIGMA of the entire Season 2 of the DPC League. They play Warlock a bunch, obviously, but first Tiny.
Very Kuroki hero. Yeah. It's real chill. Probably the most fun hero to play.
Maybe they've seen that they're Radiant. Maybe they've seen the toss.
That's true.
Into the tree line.
That was
just shouting myself out there, but maybe they've seen it.
Well, even if they did, I don't think they're gonna do it.
I mean,
it requires you to be a lot of time away from the lane, right?
No,
and 2 people need to be.
No, you do it quite quickly. You're with the lane. The point I'm making is basically you can toss range creeps into the trees so that you always have an advantage.
You should definitely do that with the first one.
Yeah, no, that's the point. You just do it for the first wave. Get level 2. But anyway, most likely we'll just be a Tiny mid, just to not overcomplicate the situation here.
Yep. Alright, we got a lot of thought being put into these bans because
OG's actually banning out mids as well. So that I think it is just going to be a Tiny 4. Okay. I guess, again, most scenarios for OG, when they pick up when they get to the draft where they go, all right, X player, please tell me what you want to play right now. They pick it and then they instantly ban what a person wants as well. So most likely this is Thompson going, if I'm playing a mid Hoodwink, I don't want to play into a puck or heroes that have their own disjoint to deal with the kind of slower stuns and type of damage that this mid Hoodwink will apply. I guess Kite is the key thing.
And a lot of time being spent. I feel like we've seen this a lot as the season's dragged on. More and more time being spent on the middle bans than even the picks, because typically during this phase, you're already game planning for what you want to do and how your draft will complete. So notably, this Hoodwink and the Tiny, what will they be? Are they going mid? Are they playing 4? So far, it does feel like OG, as you stated, based on this ban. Okay, PL. That'd be an interesting. I thought NIGMA would potentially look at picking that up. What actually beats Hoodwink?
They're simply banning heroes that remove the bombs. They want to ensure that this carry, this Warlock, has just an ability to annoy that carry. And Legion, PL, they might even look towards like a Slark as well. Because if it's a tiny 4 playing into Slark, it's gonna be difficult. Like maybe a Baden, depending on what strat OG wants. But yeah, then they ban out 2 staples. I think Miracle's playing an exceptional puck, and of course RTW, his Jug and Void have been kind of the 2 highlight heroes so far in DPC.
I like the Void ban too, because again, Warlock's real ultimate is Fatal Bonds in a lot of ways.
Remaining.
Void is more of a lower damage hero, but you provide obviously a ton of control. Fatal Bonds just is a built-in steroid. It doesn't necessarily make the Void stronger, but suddenly you don't need to worry as much about your damage and chrono.
Yeah, the key thing for NIGMA here is break mechanics are pretty hard to come by. So naturally, when you think of a patch that is driven by Vanguard buyers in the offlane, potentially the bristleback mid, these heroes will just feel a little bit underwhelming when they are broken by this ultimate, be it a core Hoodwink or be it support.
Yeah, definitely no bristle. That hero is 100% dead.
Especially with the AA as well. Like, it's so hard to pick frontliners right now. Thank you, Fog.
Fog's
What did he say?
No, yeah, Fogs was egging Carl on to say damage manipulation. It's what OG has thrived on during multiple TIs.
Nice American accent.
Thank you.
I was not going to say
I've been working for Carl some time.
I would hope that the
I know his mannerisms now.
By now.
His effective HP pull.
Oh my God.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, we are out of this second ban phase.
Forgot about Solar Crest. And Vlad's. Vlad's is underpicked, just saying, as is Drums and Veil. But that's a whole other story. Veil, I think, is one of the more underutilized.
Veil's nutty.
It's what, 1575 goals?
Spell amp.
18% spell amp. Nobody picks it up. You can start with a Bassi, it makes it barely over 1,000 gold. It's like, come on, guys. But that's why I'm on the desk. I like the Centaur ban because to your point, you're not picking it if you're NIGMA. You're not picking it in this game. And what the hell was that? What was that?
What was that?
Was that Clockwork?
That was not just
for a second.
Oh no, it probably was one of the lines, one of the voice lines.
Was that a voice line?
Was it a voice line? It must have been a voice line.
What?
Well, I mean, that's an entry. They stole the Clockwork from OG. That's what it was like. Bam!
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I mean, it's the same reason we liked it when Alliance picked it up earlier. It's good for scouting heroes that run through trees. Monkey King on the side of the Smashers, and this time it's the Hoodwink. Also very good at hunting the AA.
Okay, now it's
mid Hoodwink.
Every single pick now, bam, being given
I think it's on our side.
It is very much our side. Yeah.
Okay,
we're adding some
the
draft.
NASL sound guy somewhere in the building.
He's loving life.
All right, so we got the Clockwork, the Warlock, and the Tiny, and that means that which one of those other than Warlock is the core?
I think
Tiny then?
Yeah, so Tiny right now will be your mid lane most likely. I think the key thing for OG in their starter trade-off now is it's going to be Satsuko on the Earth Spirit, rolling in, being the sacrificial lamb.
Are you sure about that?
Could be Thompson Earth Spirit.
That is true.
Are you sure? It could be Thompson Ancient Operation.
That's true.
It could be its option Hoodwink. Who knows? Sorry, T, go for it.
So yeah, like I was saying, the key point, no matter who's playing it, Earth Spirit was the one initiating the fight, allowing everyone else. So whoever is playing Earth Spirit, they will be the sacrificial lamb in this draft. They will be down a couple times to unlock the type of damage, which is non-committal backline damage. So NIGMA, they identify that where it's basically one go in, backline's undefended. They have Darkseid to help the Clockwork get into the engagement, and it's a lot of backline jump.
It's also a pipe buyer, which is always nice against her like AA. You can surge away from the cold feed, of course, and more importantly, I think that when we heard this from Kuro. What do they like to play? They like to play fast. They want to be aggressive. That match you mentioned against Secret was their reveal of the Darkseer and the Sand King mid from Miracle. That was one of the best matches I feel like they've played. They won the game in 25 minutes. This is the style that I think allows this team to reach that S tier status. In theory, they'll also be able to ensure Mind Control actually has a good game. When they lose, it's typically because it gets sacrificed.
Wow. All right, they go for the Medusa. So I guess my main concern for OG in their lineup so far was simply what is their win condition. They have a lot of skirmish and fight, but like this has to be a core Hoodwink in my opinion. They need to be able to buy items to have wave clear.
Yep.
Because outside of this hero, no one's going to be like pushing out waves.
10 seconds
And if it's a support Hoodwink, you just don't do enough damage to clear out the wave without Veil.
What's the Seb hero?
5 seconds.
The Seb hero, well, they don't have last pick in the
Very,
draft.
very bad axe game.
I mean,
It could
Seb
just be
normally
Bloodseeker.
does play the
Turn to
tanky
back.
ones, right? So it's just not picked up yet.
I think Bloodseeker is a very good ban for NIGMA. I think OG, that would work really well for OG.
They
I
ban
could
out
see it.
Magnus.
It's all about movement right now. Even maybe a Mars as well could be pretty good just for like area control. If they initiate, you drop the arena, you Medusa fortifies position.
10 seconds.
They could
remaining.
also, I mean, Omni and Baden are still in the pool. It's quite nice when you're playing against Warlock, removing the bonds and the word.
Ban Drow, okay.
Both of those solid bans because they would give Nigma's output, damage output. Like the Drow allows you to play really fast. The AM means
Wait.
that they'd eventually win in the late game.
So in this regard, then you have two options, right? With a Drow ban, you might look towards like a Tide Hunter as
10
an option, where you just go for more.
remaining.
We'll have a front line.
I think
fight
Mars is
for-
more likely.
5
I agree
seconds
with you, but I
remaining.
think in their concept, they just want a frontliner. They want a little bit of team fight, lowest cooldowns possible.
I just want, personally, I think
Oh,
Bloodseeker.
geez.
That's what I would love to see.
Mm-hmm.
Have a bit more laning presence with the Earth Spirit, give him some kill potential. And then right now it's 4 protect 1 with Nigma's style. There's a lot of elevation of kind of putting one hero up into the fight. If that guy gets ruptured, it's going to be hard to, really help him without then getting hit by the rest of OG spells.
And the question is, what
10
does
seconds
Nigma go for?
remaining.
I could see Troll being a possibility, but no, not really. Not into all these
Radiant
kiting
team
spells and the AA ultimate.
There it is. There's the Bloodseeker.
Good
They
call,
have
sir.
they have amp on amp on amp. And Fogged, I'm going to pre-warn you,
Damage
he is
manipulate.
going to salivate at this draft, and he is going to spend at least 2.5 minutes of his cast talking about how AA and Bloodseeker and everything together is going to hit a combination of Hoodwink having a good time.
There's a
Preempting,
going to
yeah.
buy a Veil. It's going to
Yeah.
be this one. This is
yeah.
an absurd amount of spell damage that can
5
pop out, and I
seconds
believe we'll
remaining.
hopefully see the first mid Hoodwink of this entire upper division DPC.
Yeah, that would
It's-
be hype.
It's possible that it's still the Earth Spirit, but I think it's much more likely that it's going to be Hoodwink here. Now, Tiny's likely on Vamp for Miracle.
Yep.
See how well his Sumail impression will do.
They just go terrible. Wow.
Wait,
Oh,
okay.
oh, okay.
That
What
was
is that
a
for?
TV.
Is that LTW?
LTW, yeah.
LTW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
If you're saying
All right.
Miracle's going to play Tiny.
You're right. No,
Yeah.
it's just
All right.
yeah, and Thompson the
There it
Hoodwink
is.
mid. All right.
Okay, so in regards to Nigma, they last picked this Terrorblade. It is a hero that can lane against the type of damage of OG because you have the Warlock behind you. Without Warlock, it's kind of hard to pick this hero into the spam of Bloodseeker, but Earth Spirit doesn't apply as much pressure. So yeah, TB should have a pretty good time farming, and it's all about hitting that 20 or so minute timing, running over the map, because
Yeah.
eventually this amp, this high
yeah,
ground defense
I'm-
from OG is scary.
I'm afraid because OG, how do you Enigma need BKBs? They need BKBs, but at the same time, their whole draft has like one method of catching heroes. You're gonna run behind the clockwork. Maybe Miracle pops off because his blink dagger timing effectively determines how aggressive they can play.
Yeah.
But I'm really OG has it's experience-based damage. You get levels, cast spells, you kill heroes.
Positioning is key. If they ever misstep and they don't protect their backlines, that's when Nigma were on wild in this game, and it will just be a slaughter where they're just picking apart all these heroes. Like Hoodwink will feel squishy. So I think if OG gets through that phase and has items to cushion that, then it's going to be a very close, even game of just who gets the jump, etc. But yeah, I'm excited for this. This is good.
And is
This good.
this for Team Nigma? We said we heard Kuro say they want to play fast. Is this a lineup that they can play fast with, or don't they need to because
100%.
Terrorblade?
They can play fast.
They can play
It's going to be a
fast.
lot of early fighting to give TB the room to farm. When he gets to like SMY +1, maybe even like a Skadi or a Butterfly, that's when he'll be like, okay, I'll join in the fights too every time, and then they'll be pressuring. And that's where OG needs to capitalize on that and have the good counter plays and the big 1, 2, 3 spell damage jump up. Just Fox will talk to you about that. I don't want to spoil it.
Just zoom in on the mid lane. All right.
Zoom in on the mid lane. I think everybody can agree to that for some Hoodwink versus Tiny action. We're ready for the first game of this best of 3, and I think so are our commentary team. I've already picked someone, Fog.
Indeed we are, Sheev. Should be a good one here between OG and NIGMA, and I think, Fogs, we've got exactly what you want to see draft-wise from these two teams, right? I'm seeing 4 heroes on both sides that are going to be running around all the while you have Anna farming away on the Deucer, ILTW on the Terrorblade. You know, this game, it's got all the parts covered. We're going to have team fight. We're going to potentially have the big, beefy late-game carries. We got it all.
This is gonna, they're saying the battle of the mids. I'm excited for Hoodwink versus Tiny because I haven't seen the matchup really. I don't know how it's gonna go. Tiny feels like he's he's going to farm just fine. You can also use your Quelling Blade to cut the tree when you do see that the stun is coming for you. But I think this is the battle of the fours. The way that Sox has been playing for the side of OG and the way GH has been securing stuff, and I'm really liking Clockwork right now. So I'm looking at these two, seeing what they're going to be able to do inside early game, because I think their positioning is going to be so crucial to disrupt these big team fight combos that will be coming out, especially from the side of Team Mako. We have Darkseer and Warlock. These two heroes have been always known as these kings of team fights. So let's see if OG can break it up. And of course, I have to talk about what T-Governor was saying. Testing out a lot of things inside of lobbies, just having some fun with Spell Amp and all that. Sharpshooter with Blood Rage and Ancient Apparition Vortex, you can do some ridiculous damage in the later stages. Just looking at the numbers, they'll build toward it as well. So we'll see what it all comes down to, and we'll see how much damage it is going to be able to do, especially for something like Terrorblade. Pre-BKB, like there's some one-shot potential if he is fully amped up. I want to see a Veil on the side of OG too, so we will see what we get going.
Here we have it, NIGMA, ready to look for some action already. What's a big fatal punch on the fourth? GH, he will go down, but Saxon's going to be the first to fall. As NIGMA claim first blood.
GH gets the kill, Thompson gets the rebuttal, so Thompson will be enabled nicely. Now I'm gonna be watching at mid and the 4 positions for the most part. Side lane still definitely will be a bit exciting, but it's a Warlock with a Terrorblade, so we'll see lots of heal sustain. Bloodseeker also lots of heal sustain, and we'll see what Soxa does with these early movements. Instantly TPing top.
Okay.
So wants to secure Medusa's farm right away here.
And how long will this sort of last with the 3 of them up here? But like you look to the bottom half, is Seb going to struggle a lot?
They've done this quite some times. I've seen them do these kind of things a lot of times when they see a passive hero like Warlock that can't actually force a hero out. So, you know, I said one of the times that they were actually going to break it up early on, but they actually don't. You know, they like to just leave this kind of tri-lane action when they do have these super carries on the side of OG.
Sure. Because down bottom, as Seb, he can deal with the pressure here from the 2 of them. You know, Terrorblade, Warlock, not the most threatening of lanes. Obviously, a very safe lane for RTW, right? But nothing that should be killing Seb whilst he's on his own.
No. Unless he just steps up just way too far. He will have struggled to get some last hits because we will see Kuroki just follow him around, but every time there's a blood right, he secures that range creep. So far, so good for Seb.
All right, and then, yeah, you know, overall, as we were saying, it's exciting stuff, draft fights from both teams. Yeah, I got to ask, who's do you prefer? Who do you think has got the sort of the better draft here?
Oh, it's tough to say, really. Like, these Terrorblades have been very impressive lately for me, but Medusa at the same time, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really close to GH. The tri-lane, they will be able to get the kill with the 2 supports, and they're keeping them off of the wave. Ana getting full free farm up there. I gotta be honest, I'm a little worried just because like Terrorblade, I feel like he could just get one-shotted from like sharpshooters and tree line. So eyes on him for BKB timings and stuff like that. And if they get the pipe early on in mind control, NIGMA could set the tempo, but it does feel a little scary if it does get to later stages.
We're gonna definitely need to see some sort of sacrificial plays from NIGMA with bodies being thrown in between the Terrorblade and the sharpshooter.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you know, we're gonna see some real sort of teammate plays this game.
Yeah, and they do have some ways to be able to play around cogs in particular. That's the one thing I did see. Clockwork got picked up. Instantly, they picked the Earth Spirit. They already have Hoodwink, who can use Sharpshooter to bonk himself out really quickly. Earth Spirit, you can kick the Clockwork out, even save some buddies by rolling into cogs and kick your teammate out. So, yeah, lots of different fun stuff coming out. This game is GH again.
GH! Oh!
He's able to get away.
He's all right, but he's, as you said, he's definitely sort of drawn the short straw, right? He's playing into the lane where there's one of him, there's 2 supports on OG.
Every time he gets low as well, that's where we see Seb able to thrive a little bit more bottom. The thirst stacks builds up, he's able to actually trade some hits with Kuroki and contest.
Turning, trying to get aggressive onto Sax there. Mind control.
Mind control's low.
He's got to be a little careful as well.
Stay.
Anna just steps across and mind control, pop and verify won't save him.
And now GH as well. He's just going to go down.
Well, I think that's the easiest double kill Anna's ever had. And, well, you know, if you watch his pubs, he's had a lot of easy double kills. But, well, there you have it. Just hand it to him.
Yeah. Mid so far, fairly even. Just kind of trading that farm back and forth. The low armor of Tiny. Thompson's able to get some nice harassment there. And we haven't seen any rotations, at least toward these runes just yet. GH, actually looking like he's going to swing toward mid. Maybe going for a toss-back play, it looks like.
I return to ultimate.
And Soxa suicides himself.
And so from these mids as well, as you said, you've been seeing Thompson sort of crushing it in pubs on this hero.
A couple times.
You expect sort of just the full playmaking build?
cut the tree. They stop the stun.
They've got him trapped in the cogs.
But he gets out quickly.
Yes, he's away. GH tries to dive in, but the Fairy fires up, and with the TP over from Stacks, the GH won't move in anymore. Thompson's going to be fine.
The 2 games I believe that I saw, Miracle does have to be a little bit careful. Stun. Will connect.
Oh, hello.
Roll is off, but might still just go down the toss.
It's close. Oh my goodness.
He gets him.
We're getting these moves already here. The sort of the 1% HP plays as he'll survive. Thompson not quite able to get that. Okay, Stacks is fine. Able to get the high ground roll away.
And both offlaners, I think, are the ones that really have drawn that short straw. We see Mind Control. He's level 4, 12 last hits. We see Bloodseeker Seb, also level 4, 9 last hits. So they're the ones going to be struggling to get some enhanced timing for themselves.
Sure. I guess that's more expected in Seb's situation. So the fact that he's kind of close to the Darkseer is not bad for him, seeing as he's been on his own down here.
Yes. Meta is used at the moment here. Trying to put some pressure. Saksa, roll off the mark there. Can't quite get any aggression onto Kuroki. I like that I've been seeing this more and more. The reflection early on these Terrorblades too. Just being able to use your mana, utilize it, and if you do see any pressure coming your way, it is just nice. It's nice to be able to utilize like the Bassi aura that the Warlock does provide.
So GH and Mind Control, trying to get aggressive onto Ana. Unlikely to have anywhere near the damage though, is Ana.
They actually get on top of him though.
With these snakes, they're giving the mana back.
It's doing pretty good.
I mean, Ana's standing his ground. He's feeling confident in the back of the scrum. The Stacks is in. Roll forward onto GH. They're going to be able to take down the clock. GH goes down. Mind Control has to hide in the trees. You saw there just the confidence of Ana and his teammates. He can stand his ground, get the hits in. Mind Control.
They know he's still up here.
He's got to hide. He does have a TP.
They did the scan on the south side, so they know he didn't go that way. But yeah, maybe expecting him to have TP'd out. As Miracle now making a rotation. He's smoked up.
Oh, and Ana's still low. Miracle, is he able to get in on this? Toss into the avalanche. He's got one. He's going to be able to take down both of them. A beautiful rotation from Miracle. Will put an end to sort of the reign that Ana's been having up here. He's been having quite a nice time indeed with the kills that he's been granted. But Miracle making an all-important move there for NIGMA.
I'm loving these early moves already. 6-5 with a Medusa and a Terrorblade in a game. Usually you expect some kind of sitting back and farm, but no, we're seeing some very active movements already coming out here. Deep ward placed. We do see that
Miracle's
Kuroki.
still top.
He is still in the area.
They're quite prepared for this move. Once again, Miracle steps in. He grabs another.
Bang, bang.
Radiant structures.
Nice moves
are
playing
fortified.
around that Darkseer, helping out Mind Control a little bit. He's still low though, and he's got the thirst. Saksa might go for the snipe.
Saksa. Oh,
the ward sees him.
With the dodge. And Miracle's here, so now Saksa, he's in a bit of trouble.
He's got a full combo as well. That's very likely to just one-shot him.
Don't breathe.
Ooh. The creeps.
The creeps. They've outed him.
Can he get the full combo on him? The slow. Won't be able to get the full combo.
It might just be enough with a few punches though. And it is. Slaps him down with the big old tree. Another kill for Miracle's timing.
Super early movements. Thompson not going to be matching those himself this time around. So Miracle coming out ahead in this laning phase just with these early rotations. Yeah, very nice. Ana now goes back. He's going to be able to farm these jungle stacks that have been prepared a little bit by Noto. But some excellent moves by Miracle, helping out the Darkseer. Mind Control definitely needed that.
I mean, for Thompson, what sort of moves do you expect to see him make? Like, where's his game going to take him early on? Are you looking towards the top? Are you looking to try and make plays onto the Terrorblade? Can you make plays onto LTW here?
I think so. It's just the bane of Terrorblade's existence is high burst magical damage, and he's got that built into this Hoodwink sharpshooter. So I do think he can make the moves bottom. And now Seb is also 6, and he is going to be going for the Veil build on the Bloodseeker. So as we mentioned, spell amp aplenty. So definitely going to be eyes on these sharpshooters as Noto. Farm that 5 gold. I'm really excited to see how much damage it's going to do.
I see it. If they can find Mind Control. Mind Control is very low in these trees.
Dire's top tower.
It's there. They see it. He's going to try and run. You can't run from that. Another kill here for the two of them up top.
And a quick skip.
Radiant are scanning.
Boom! There it goes.
Miracle's on the hunt again. Look at him. He is brutal this game.
He's just up and down the map.
Yeah, no mercy whatsoever with these early rotations. Buys all these early items, so won't have that early of a blink dagger, but still is able to make these movements. As we do see these deep wards placed down, of course, the ward to be able to watch if there's any stacks going on, of course, on this side. Also on the Dire side to watch out if any Ancients are being stacked, but none just yet. Saksa and Thompson, they're looking for him. They've got the damage if they get onto him.
Hello. The Centaur, the neutral actually helping out with a bit of setup here as they've got him caught. The Centaur, though, it is what the angle he is. There we have it. Thompson, can he get out? If he gets away with this, he can. Saxon's going to be the one left behind as Miracle will manage to clean him up, but Thompson gets the job done. Cost him a support, but it's dead Terrorblade at the end of the day. Thompson's going to be happy.
Dire's top tower
Might lose one of their wards here, I do believe. The bottom one here maybe gets taken out. They actually don't. They actually place the other one. They look for the other one right around where the Terrorblade was positioned, so this one might actually linger for quite some time. Miracle, though, continuing to be active, and they do see Thompson's rotation. The ward that they do have on the Ancients from Team NIGMA will see that the Hoodwink's here.
Let's see if Thompson is still able to achieve something. 5 seconds to the sharpshooter's backup. Some pressure coming in onto Ana. He's going to need backup. It's on the way. Saxon TP's in. Back on Ana. For the one charges, but seeing huge amounts of damage there coming out from RTW already at this stage of the game with the Metamorphosis. Just a little bit too much for Ana to try and stick around in lane against as GH. But the catch, Saxa. He's not going to be able to roll out of this one as GH is able to get the walk in, and more than enough damage here buffed up by the Iron Shell of Mind Control. As NIGMA can continue to keep this top space nice and safe for RTW to keep pushing on.
He blocks him with the acorn shot. Look at that.
And now with the rupture,
but Miracle's here. There's a lot of damage too. They come from
the combo. Not quite Thompson. So we'll finish it off here with a sharpshooter. Another move made here as Thompson starting to get active, and successfully so. Kill after kill now for the Hoodwink.
And he does take the Ironwood tree. I was wondering if he's going to keep the Keen Optic or not for himself, but he keeps that one so he can do his combo as well. He can stun with that Ironwood tree. And the stats. Very important to have any extra bonus stats versus a Tiny. Also the raindrop. These little things will keep him alive versus some of these combos early on. Early rotation from Team NIGMA with the ILTW Terrorblade will get the tower. It's deep though.
Straight in underneath the tower. Miracle wants to get in. Pull out GH.
Oh no. Hey, they're gonna. Oh, I'm so sorry. Look, you even.
Airlines. I mean, if there was ever any player that didn't deserve getting Tiny airlined, it was GH, but he just did. Miracle's like, we're going in. GH is like, what? And, all right, then GH there in the mid.
Stay together.
And he's going to get a refund on his flight ticket. That was not the experience he was after.
Yeah, it happens. Ooh, Miracle does miss the catapult last hit there. But yeah, Veil is online. They've got Ice Vortex level 2, so as we said, Spell Lamp will be there for OG, but ILTW is getting really good farm and is able to pressure towers easier than the side of OG.
Yes, he's getting just that bit more.
And okay, so Thompson, it's going to just be a straight Ags Rush. I saw in some of his games he did do this as well.
All right.
Does skip out that Aether Lens. It's also more amp. More amp and status resistance reduction, and it's just it's a lot of damage. It's only got like an 18-second cooldown for a 350 damage nuke. It's quite strong, especially versus frail heroes like a Terrible.
Yeah, and it's a boomerang.
It is a boomerang.
Boomerangs are just pretty cool.
It is.
You know, you can have a boomerang. Who's going to pass up on that? Not Thompson.
I can only see expect some disgusting boomerang into status reduction into like a Mystic Snake hits them and it stuns them for 3 seconds when he's got the stone form thing on it too with the Ags.
I mean,
potential.
It is going to get down to sort of this game where, you know, at what stage is RTW going to have to get a BKB? Or does he not? Can he just build full stats, so he will need a BKB?
I think he's going to need one. They'll have the pipe coverage from Mind Control early. He knows that all this magic damage will be coming up, but it does feel like he'll need it at some point. Miracle already has Blink, though. So these initiations, and GH being level 7 already, has had such a good start. And yes, the Fairy Trinket, of course, as we see on these Tinies every single time, it does feel like. And who's got Possessed Mask? Of course, both carries have Possessed Mask.
There we go. Nice bit of balance here between OG and NIGMA as Ice Rock graces us with some even RNG. To make sure the game is as close as possible.
And early meta, another one, going for the towers. As we said, NIGMA will be dictating the pace for these tower pushes a little bit easier.
He's in with a combo, Hook's on the follow-up. Let's see if they've got enough to bring him down.
Oh, the bot.
He's getting dropped here by Kuroki. Vacuum as well. The three of them, they're going to be able to run down Ana, and the Medusa will fall. Ice Bar's coming out in return.
Off the mark.
GH, Mind Control, and Miracle trying to continue to push forward. Keep on the Miracle. Miracle still somehow alive there with the stick charges. Finally, he'll fall, but it'll cost the life for Saxa. And the ILTW turning up. Seb's got no place in this fight. He has to run.
They're healing up ILTW as well. GH gets on top of the AA. Thompson has to scurry away. As the Ancients, ILTW will be able to take this away.
There we go. A little bit of a bonus as well for NIGMA off the back of that fight. 3 for 1. And a nice double stack of the Ancients that RTW is able to get involved in cleaning up.
And we mentioned, the battle of the 4 position. Sox is struggling this time. 1, 6, and 6. GH, he's level 8 with the hood already. He's got his Aghanims already queued up, so definitely some great potential for this Clockwork to just continue to do these amazing plays for himself. He is enabled a little bit better because he's got that Ion Shell to work with, but... Miracle.
And see with the jump mid, sees an opportunity to get on top of No-Tail and take the kill. Thompson turns him the bush grab, but GH, he's ready to go in on him. Sure. His shot traps Thompson. Thompson trying to break his way out, but he can't. Gets dragged back by the vacuum of mind control. As NIGMA bringing the action out. They're going to get the jump in on Ana. Toss back, but Ana, he's able to put the stone gaze. NIGMA, they'll back off for now. Gosh, the ultimate goes off here for the Medusa. And Seb, going for a Rupture onto GH. GH, he's out with the TP, and he's away.
See ya.
So Rupture, I'm going to grant him anything there. Does have the Arcane Rune though, so
he's going again.
Miracle, just no holding back here. Anytime he sees a hero in mid, he's in with a combo. Seb will live.
Nice blast. Don't have any follow-up.
Wants to do something with this.
They do.
He's going to dive in here with the roll, gets the control, onto the tiny follow there from Thompson with a sharpshooter coming in. They'll blast the head off Miracle.
You on a battlefield.
Constant aggression as expected, 15 to 11. Ana still farming, but does feel like NIGMA, they've gotten quite a bit more out of this early game. In particular, as we said, GH having a miraculous game so far, level 9. Constantly getting on the right targets, but the vacuum.
Ooh, that's going to break the combo. Stop Saxon from getting in onto Kuroki. Nice little save there from Mind Control.
And there is always things that we do have to factor in as well. This lead with NIGMA, they are playing versus a Medusa, but they have a lot of edges. GH is just a killer.
Oh, there you go, easy kill for GH. Sees that. Looking around.
And he pops the hood.
He's a tanky boy. Not tanky enough, though. They'll get the kill in return. You see GH, he's more than happy to take these trades, throwing himself in and getting himself some solo kills.
Look how aggressive they're playing around this ward, though. Another jump. They want No-Tail.
They're in with the combo. It's not quite enough, but with the fade up ones down onto the two of them, they'll still be able to push on. Miracle getting himself another kill.
They're just running at them. Anytime that they do see anybody playing around this vision, they're just jumping for these kills because of this advantage they've gotten. Again, Miracle, the blinks up.
He's leading him with the avalanche. Toss not quite on the mark here.
Being a little careful, ILTW does get hit by the sharpshooter.
Gonna be alright though, healed up by the bottle, the Shadow Word. They're keeping ILTW at full HP. Whilst his Metamorphosis continues to go. Fortification has been forced out on OG's side of things.
I just saw LTW's item choices that he's queued up. Interesting. He's gonna jump on him though, maybe.
The burst, Miracle. He's in with the counterplay, jumps in with the avalanche. Jump down the stairs, trying to get back to the side, but he's been ruptured. ILTW goes down, back him onto the three of them as Saxon will go down in return. Ana trying to chase in here, but NIGMA, they're on the retreat. Mind Control's able to drop down the wall. It's Mind Control. He'll be fine. He's able to sneak away in the trees. Seb, he's pretty speedy. He's looking to see if he can get on top of anyone else. He's looking towards GH, but GH, not a target that Seb's going to feel confident pushing on towards. OG will back off. They're happy with things as they are. They may lose Saxa, but they bring down ILTW.
Yeah, 2 times now they're able to slow him down as Ana. He's able to go back to his side of the jungle, get his farm going nicely. And yeah, there's definitely some really strong things that NIGMA does have into later stages versus Medusa as well. Not only do they have Reflection, but they have Wall. So this Medusa, as she gets better, she gets stronger. They also will on the side of Team NIGMA. So there is a lot of preparation that they do have as another hook shot. GH. There's the sharpshooter to jump out of the cogs.
He's going to be fine though, GH. He can get away with this sort of aggression as tanky as he is when there's only a couple of them around. Thompson and No-Tail just don't do enough to kill it. Especially if that sharpshooter, as you say, is having to be used immediately to break Thompson out of the cogs.
3 components toward.
What we got here? Highest amount of deaths of 17 minutes on any hero this event. Well, that's not a nice stat.
He is. I mean, he's taking a lot of them here. It is most of the supports dying though, right? It's 6 as well on No-Tail. They're 14.
These are professional deaths here. You know, this is some top tier stuff, as you say. Supports dying, it's all part of the plan, part of the greater picture here for both teams.
Let's see if ILTW looks to want to take that Nether Shawl. They did find one on the side of Team NIGMA. Very good item this game versus all that magical burst that can potentially be coming.
I'm sorry if I missed you saying, but this is what you're on about, isn't it, on ILTW?
The item build that he's queued up. Yeah, he's queued up the Fusel, by the way, after the SNY and the Dragon Lines. I mean, that could be an interesting choice versus that Medusa, of course.
It makes sense.
I'm not sure if he needs it, though, with the way that he is getting all this pace going.
I mean, it depends, right? It depends how... If you do the numbers, if you crunch the numbers, how much of a damage increase that is against the Medusa, if you take it into account. If you compare it to just building at the more standard Terrorblade items. But,
it's very mid-game.
Sure, it's going to amp him up to the point where, you know, at this stage, when Ana's turning up with, you know, the Aghanims and the Manta, it's not going to quite be at a place where he's going to be feeling too happy if RTW has multiple illusions beating down on his mana pool.
Oh, Ana. You see him for a second. He's actually the one just running in onto Kuro.
He's got back up. Saxon's going to come in with a roll onto Kuroki. Kuroki gets the bonds off, but Kuroki, he'll go down. GH is going to climb up the hook shot. Mind Control gets the combo off, but he's caught in the blood right. They've lost the darks here. Thompson will die as RTW looks to stand his ground with the Metamorphosis. Ana moving in. GH remaining on top of the Medusa, continuing to push him back. Saxon trying to peel Miracle and RTW away from Ana and Seb, but it'll cost him his life. Saxon goes down. GH has the cold control onto Ana. Toss forward as well as they continue closing on the Medusa. The mana pool of Ana completely drained. They'll force him out to the side. Dive forward for Miracle as he jumps in. Avalanche in place. He's caught the Medusa. He's
got a toss.
And it's going to be enough. They bring him down. As NIGMA have no struggles here, taking the fight as it all begins a little awkwardly. It starts with Ana sort of stepping over to NIGMA's half of the map, ready to farm, and then as soon as he's up the cliff, he kind of looks behind him and realizes, oh, there's a team between me and the rest of my teammates.
He's initiating as a Medusa as well. He pops the Stone Gaze, just runs in versus Kuro. And it's important to point out that's a fight without the Chaotic Offering. He didn't have it up, and he gets picked off right at the start. Miracle's still waiting on the sides.
Can he burst Thompson?
He's got the shawl. It's a lot of damage.
It is. I'm going to hook shot follow up. It's going to be enough. Cock push back as well. GH with just the right amount of control on top of the initiation from Miracle. Instantly get them another kill. The tips starting to get shared around here on the side of NIGMA as off the back of that last few fights that we've seen. And they're going to be feeling pretty good with the flow of this game.
Yeah, they're moving so fast. It's such quick movements across the map. They're just non-stop aggression with this Tiny, with this Clockwork. GH and Miracle just having a hell of a performance this game so far. Like, look at GH's farm. He's got point boosted with the hood. They gave him the Van Brace too. It's a 1900 HP Clockwork.
Oh, what's Miracle? Another grab. He gets in onto Seb, tosses it back, Seb's dead. I really do feel this so far this game, this Miracle Tiny. We're seeing why NIGMA will pick it up. I believe first pick wasn't it in the draft?
With flair.
It's looking pretty terrifying. 9-2 and 9. Miracle just doesn't stop.
Look at him. Him and GH just brutal killers. Vision from the rocket and then just immediate jumps. And he's the one who's actually been holding the shawl this whole time for all that extra magic damage. Seems very appropriate.
No, they're just completely in sync with one another. This game, Miracle and GH, you can really sense it.
And ILTW, I believe he did commit for it. So Diffusal is online. Does mean he can also fight when he doesn't have meta, which is kind of cool as well.
Got a bit of control, but it's slow.
Yep.
As melee illusion's going to do all the more.
And look at this, they're still just waiting. The rocket to scout, just keeping OG at bay. And Thompson, very underfarmed at this point, still doesn't have his Aghanims finished, just constantly getting hunted from Team NIGMA. And they've claimed the triangle for quite some time here. Even blocking out the... putting a ward right outside the Ancients, it looks like, here with that sentry. And GH, ready to lead the charge. Super tanky Clockwork, halfway toward Aghanims. I mean, his HP is ridiculous.
Yeah, he can...
2200, that's your Clockwork support.
And as you said, the resistance on top of it all.
Yep.
He can absolutely... afford to sort of just recklessly throw himself into the action.
And they're keeping themselves around this area, protecting that high ground ward that was placed before. OG not getting much farm on the map at all right now as Team NIGMA threatening erosion. Oh, of course, look at that. A bottle and a DD with the Imp Claw as well too, so tons of damage. OG's got to try to fight this.
They know they're coming over, but NIGMA, they also know that OG knows. They're going to smoke up themselves, look to take the fight outside of the pit.
2 Aghanims online. Medusa gets Ags, and the Hoodwink has Aghanims on OG. Let's see if it makes a difference this time.
Miracle, he's got the 3-man avalanche ready to start things off. So he's getting fucked out to the side. Ana pops the Stone Gaze, looks to turn things around. They've got the control here over towards this Tiny. Is Miracle fully focused by Saxa. The pushback comes in.
He can't
Miracle, he's still alive somehow, standing his ground. Whilst Roger gets another combo off. As Miracle, he finally dies, but the damage has been done. They've lost Ana, they've lost Saxa, and they've lost No-Tail. As OG, they'll lose 3 here for the price of Miracle.
And you may have an Aghanims on your Hoodwink, but it hits a GH Clockwork and it does 0 damage to him at all as ILTW shows up with the Diffusal and just evaporates the poor Medusa. Even with the hook shot missing at the start here.
It didn't matter in the long run.
No. Great initiation.
Just there's always going to be that worry that if you don't take down the Tiny quite quick enough, or another round of the spells is surely going to hurt, and they couldn't quite do it, despite getting very low. There's the focus of the 4 of them. RTW able to claim the Aegis for himself.
Look at that, the sharpshooter, he's too tanky. They have Pipe and Hood. It's not doing much damage at all this game.
As well with the illusions, combined with the failed bonds. There's the diffusal slow. Seb's got to get out. Will manage to force it down to the low ground. But GH is still closing in on Thompson and Oaktown. They don't quite know where to run. As OG, they are going to try and take this fight.
There we go. They get to GH finally. He's been quite a big thorn in their side. He's always getting on top of Thompson is the biggest thing. Thompson's had to use sharpshooter defensively like 4 or 5 instances in a lot of these fights. So that mid solo is not having the effect that he would have liked as this hoodwink because of GH. Just constantly getting on top of him. It's a big advantage here for Team NIGMA now. This Terrorblade, absolutely massive. Building toward it, and Iascati as well, too. Everything's looking great for them right now.
A brilliant time here, RTW. It's just, yeah, as we said, both teams having the same sort of dynamic. 4 fighters, 1 farmer. And it's just playing out a little smoother here for NIGMA. 27-17.
So aggressive.
Lead.
It's just, it really is just constant aggression. This Miracle and GH duo.
Yeah, they've just managed to achieve just that little bit more, really, than what OG have on the respective, the combination of Earth Spirit and Hoodwink. It's just not quite been as fast-paced as that NIGMA's managed to roll with.
No, Soxley just has to give his life half the time, it feels like. He's 1 in 11 on the Earth Spirit. Every time he rolls in, he tries to save his Medusa, but it's still not able to protect him, as they're just getting on top of Ana. And that was a timing, too, Ana. OG, they hit the double Ags timings right before that fight. It didn't matter. NIGMA got the jump again, right on top of the perfect heroes. Kuroki setting up for the defense bottom. They're all TPing to the back. Looks like they're going to try to smoke out and catch OG off guard. All of them TPing to the back tower, leaving the fast TP open for ILTW in the front.
ROG going to be ready for this. NIGMA.
They scout. They see Saxa. Okay.
A little bit whiffed there with the initiation. Saxa, he's not going to take the point of the full combo. Saxa's able to get out to the side. The Feather Bombs comes down, though. I'll give them the damage required to bring down the Earth Spirit. Quick Stone Gaze from Ana, but NIGMA's able to step to the side, turn and try and take down the Golem, but with the Shadow Word, Kuro's Golem's going to be kept alive, and now OG, they've just got to run with no Stone Gaze to protect himself. They've got to get out of it. Vacuum, walk down onto the 2 of them. Thompson trying to turn over towards GH, but GH is too tanky, and now RTW around. OG, they have to run. They've got no space or place to be had here in this team fight. As Mind Control's able to surge in, take down Thompson. Seb is trying to get back in here. Forward to the cogs. Oh no! It's straight into the cogs, so that TP ain't gonna work, and it will fall. No Tail and Seb make it out of there.
It looked okay. The retreat at first for OG because they get the Miracle Tiny, but then the chase forward. NIGMA just have enough to be able to catch the rest of them there. Even honestly, the little mini diffusal slow as well is definitely working out.
This diffusal's looking very good for the way that NIGMA's playing. Absolutely,
yeah. Just constant aggression, super fast plays. Hook shot. Seb just able to dodge it. That was very close. As an Aghanim's about to be finished up for GH as well. As we said, incredible performance so far from this Clockwork. LTW, alone.
And he's very alone. He's really going for it here. I mean, he's got an Aegis. I think he's expecting there's going to be some backup. I mean, Kuro's trying to get over.
Can he get the Sunder? He's locked in place. The Force, he's dead. Way too far up.
Yeah. One of those moments, I guess, where you just sort of forget what the team is. I mean, we've seen NIGMA still come in, get Saxa, but that did not seem like a necessary death there from ILTW.
Nope. OG did sync it up really nicely with all their spell combos, though. They got the silence. He almost is able to get the Sunder off, but not quite. Yeah, very dark, very deep forward.
He was just enjoying life there, hitting down the tier 2 tower. I mean, he had an Aegis. Kuro was kind of there, but the rest of the team, they weren't going to be around to save him, even with the 2 lives.
No, they're making their own play bottom, and OG did capitalize this time around.
There we go, as you say, no surprise here. GH on the record timing, 50 seconds faster than the event's fastest Ags on clock.
Which was a very fast one as well, because that was, I believe, Saxa who had that incredible performance on the Clockwork the last time around. We did see this as before.
We did see that pretty insane Saxa game, and yeah, GH definitely making a case to really contest that sort of level of performance hit.
Absolutely.
Showing he can do it just as well.
Ooh. Lots of neutral items being left on the ground here. Kuroki's like, I'll pick it up for you guys. Don't worry. That's my job. Mind control, GH. Keep doing your plays.
Seb. GH. They're going to start the action. Oh, nice drag back into the second hook shot. They've got enough damage though. They don't. Seb's fine. This time, OG, they'll have a lot of backup. Straight up to mind control. Ice Blast connects. with a sharpshooter coming in. There's no chance for mind control. Saxa is going to look for the follow-up control onto GH. Miracle's coming in for the side. The Bonds, they're running onto the three of the Miracles in for the combo onto Thompson, but they've already lost GH. Now Miracle's got to be careful. I said that OG also very apprehensive about continuing to keep this fight going. They're straight in the trees, they're TP'd out. They don't want to be around when RLTW turns up.
Couple mistakes from NIGMA. OG's capitalizing a couple kills here. They also saw ILTW TP down with that ward that they do have placed on that south side, so they did see Terrorblade getting in, so he's able to scurry away quickly on the side of OG. Do punch back a little bit. They need quite a lot more of those. And that was also a golem used, so a couple of slip-ups there from Team NIGMA.
We'll see the attempt here to try and take down Seb at the start, but he's a slippery fellow here with the force staff, the plate mail, the hood. He also quite the tanky hero.
Now they're all back up though, and we still do see like these big team fights. They are NIGMA favored whenever they do get the proper jump here. Having the BKB on Miracle too should be much safer. Unless he gets like full chain stun down, he should get the BKB off and be able to survive versus the heavy magic damage that OG does have. And they're just the ones who tank the spells, right? ILTW, he's still that big carry to be able to sit in the back lines. Claim the outpost. Claim some high ground vision as well. Tupson buys himself the tome, so he's going to have level 3 sharpshooter online. That big damage jump will be there. So they still do have burst potential if they can get onto those heroes quickly before the BKBs, but now Saxa, he's been found again.
Incoming! Now they're going to be able to take him out, continue to set back that BKB timing that he's trying to scramble towards, but as you can see, the deaths really starting to add up and affect his goal build up this game. Really struggling to get the money in.
He's got the ward down here. He sees Seb as well.
Oh, and he's asking for help. As well. Smokes as well. They're moving straight over.
They're going to get Seb here. Toss him back to ILTW. Easy. Doesn't even have to use a diffusal. GH.
He's also caught Thompson.
And he's got a second hook.
He has. He's able to combo in onto Thompson.
He solos him.
As the one sharpshooter's not going to be enough, and now Anna Stonegate is finished.
He's in the wall as well.
NIGMA's able to get in. ILTW and Miracle on top of the Medusa. Anna doesn't stand the chance.
Shredded.
Dire's top
GH, the hunter, the killer, again and again getting on top of Thompson, providing all this vision.
Oh boy, he's having a great time there, GH, and really making it look like Thompson just he's got no like what does he do?
He's got no out now.
Double hook shot. It's too much. 2 sets of hook shots, 2 sets of cogs. You can't shot
Beauty
yourself out of both of them.
He sees the support. He sees blood.
Right up to the fountain, pretty much.
That's a Rex. Maybe even potentially more.
I mean, at least, yeah, here, 36 to 21. 14k lead here for NIGMA.
Going for the second one, ILTW, 2 full items on top of the Medusa at this point.
That's insane. I mean, they've just played it so fast.
Yeah. 36 kills, 32 minutes.
And it's off!
So clean from the side of Team NIGMA today.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Double Rexes, 17k gold lead, even in mid-tier 4, why not?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
There's not a lot really that NIGMA have to be scared of here. We'll see how much space they want to give them. I mean, if they want to stick around, they absolutely can.
They're just going to wait for somebody to show. They've got a chaotic offering as well at the ready after all these fights. They haven't had to use, actually, they haven't had to use it in most of the fights. It's been successful fights just from the initiations without the golem.
And Thompson and Saxa are trying to get out the base here with this smoke, see if they can catch any of NIGMA splitting up.
Okay. Meta is still down. AA Blast though. 3-man catch. Look at the damage.
Big sharpshooter. But they've got anything else to come on, they do! It's enough damage. ILTW will fall there as Thompson's able to set up with a huge burst of his ultimate. Miracle is back in though. GH also able to get the lead in onto Seb with the combo. Miracle's able to bring down No-Tail. Second round of hook shot. He's on top of Seb. Seb's going to go down. As GH will get the kill, he'll also get out. TP's away, plays it safe, respects the buyback here from Saxa. Miracle still hanging around though.
He's quite alone.
Can Miracle do this with the back of a mind control and Kuroki? Not quite. Zombie starts to run. They've got the stone gauge, but the wall's down. Bounce through the Ag Snake. Trying to kick Miracle back, so he's facing a ward's out, but Miracle's able to turns with another combo. In fact, it takes down Thompson as he gets set up to pick up another kill. Anna trying to fight against all three of them, but he's slowed. GH is back in with the hook shot. The mana has gone on. Ana falls.
GH still hunting, as well as my control, still chasing forward. Saksa will be the sole survivor for his team. As Roche respawns, 20 seconds until LTW does come back up, and he's got Meta at the ready as soon as he does.
Yeah, NIGMA just continuing to just beat OG all over the place.
Oh, is No-Tail gonna show himself? Miracle, as soon as he sees him. Oh, he's jumping him. See you later, No-Tail.
Rack it up.
On to tier 4s. Oh, he throws the tree away. Doesn't even want it. He's just gonna punch it. So that might be it. They do have buybacks.
They have a buyback on Ana.
But ILTW is running straight down the mid lane, and oh, a DD spawns top as well. If they do go back for Rush, if they can't clean up the game right now.
Roach is down.
But it's Lotus.
Yes, indeed. They'll still try and lead it on to GH, but GH turns with a hook shot straight in onto Saxon Thompson. Revving up the sharpshooter. Is he going to do any sort of sizable damage? It is on to ILTW, but Miracle on the front line, pushing the back with the BKB. Combos down Saxa. We'll have the AA back up in a second, but now no Saxa.
They're ready to just end this.
They are. ILTW is going to continue pushing on. Stonegaze is back up in a second for Ana.
They've got wall back up in 10 seconds. Meta's popped.
Yeah, they're ready to close this up,
Dire's
NIGMA.
middle tower has fallen.
So, what can they do here with just the four of them? How can they stop ILTW from doing this? Miracle's in with a jump straight away. Alter No-Tail takes them out yet again. Vacuum onto the three. The wall's dropped down. They're trying to scramble back towards the fountain, but the cogs are out. Ana can't get back to the fountain as NIGMA hold him outside of it, take him down. 100 seconds now, Ana. It's over. It really is. GG is called as NIGMA. I mean, they just really set up here in game one. Nothing being held back. As we said, you know, it really was just Miracle and GH leading the charge throughout this whole game. As just as a unit, the aggression, it was perfect.
It was.
And it was something that, you know, we are used to seeing OG bring, but NIGMA they did it so much better than OG here in this game.
They did not slow down at all. There was no moments where they're like, hey guys, we have Chaotic offering on cooldown, let's slow down. Nope, they were just constantly running, aggressive, playing around ward vision, claiming high ground, and just not letting Thompson really play that hoodwink as this mid. He's 4, 8, and 11 at the end of it. They keep getting on top of him. Tiny jumps him, Clockwork hook shots him. They're just constantly getting on top. Great plays from Team NIGMA as the whole team together just all together for every single one of the fights. Even the Darks here, we didn't give My Control a lot of credit in this game because of how crazy everything was. But 10 floor and 28, beautiful item build too. Goes for the Halberd versus the Medusa in case of anything. They've got the pipe, they've got all the magic damage coverage and all that magic damage protection too from them. Great stuff from NIGMA.
Oh, absolutely. This was really quite the showstopper of a performance here from NIGMA in this game one, as OG just being, as I said, sort of tossed all over the place. They're getting a little bit lost in this one as they just couldn't ever match the fighting that NIGMA was bringing, the team fights each and every time.
success.
Too much.
Getting torn apart here by RTW. That's going to take for 100 seconds.
Is under attack.
And okay, good. Roche is going to be up in 5 seconds as well.
Saxa is able to go with the hot but Miracle's quick with the response. Jumps in, he blows up Saxa.
Gus, the silence.
Trying to push him with the Blade Fury. GH ready at the side to help out. Anna starting to back off, goes over to the side. Mind controls coming, looking towards tops of the Supernovas pop. They've got to start running away here.
Thompson, he's in trouble.
He's being trapped here by the Brambles. In on top of him, Thompson can't run. It's 3 dead on OG. Maybe before Anna. He's got the Blade Fury TP. They've not got anything to put a stop to it. So Anna makes it out. It's 3 dead. It's easily going to be enough window here for NIGMA to take this Roshan with 3 heroes down for pretty much a minute.
Yeah, and a clutch fear tip from my control onto GH. As soon as they pop the egg, he fears into the backline, catches Thompson, and from there they can just chase them out and clean it up.
And this is, who's taking the shard here this game?
Roshan has
They can give it to either Miracle or FTW, I do think. Feels pretty effective on the 2 of them here.
Yeah, you're right. Looks like Miracle's going to take it. We see back in the action here, Saxa desperately trying to help out, but Miracle able to wait for the counter play, gets in with the combo, and still, just with the lead that some of the heroes on NIGMA have,
and look,
very hard for Anna to have an impact, especially when there's just so many units. These Omni Slashes are so hard to just sort of find the perfect situation to drop them.
And if he uses spin in those situations aggressively, that means that they can't spin and hit the egg as effectively. He can't be as covered either.
No, it's a hard jug game.
Yeah, it is. It's just been very difficult for Ana the entire game here as NIGMA 14k gold lead, re-secure their position in the game, and now just have a clear window to be able to dominate most of these fights.
That's funny, Kuro's got as well. He's working his way very close towards the Aghanims.
Oh, okay.
The seeds of fortune.
Lots of luxury on these supports for sure on the side of Team NIGMA this time around. Outpost will be taken away as well. GH will claim that. LTW does buy the ulti orb, by the way. He's being sensible. He's being a sensible boy.
As much as I'd like to see the outband Blink Spectre.
Oh, the Brute! The Global Brute! You can't TP out, even though the stun isn't there for the Spectre. The Global Brute, it's beautiful. As Saxa inevitably brought down from the Spectre.
And there's going to be some more chaos being brought here as well.
And he's TPing the base and getting mana, so he's going to be able to haunt back in the fight if it does kick off. So OG not going to look to take the fight themselves. They're just going to ditch No Tail. 80 seconds, no Enchantress.
Oh my goodness. I mean, there was a sort of a moment this game where it kind of felt like, hey, maybe OG's managing to slow this down, and then a few moments later, no, they weren't. They really weren't at all. NIGMA back to full steam ahead.
It really is such a tough game for them to really win any of the actual team fights just because of what they're up against. Like this Spectre and Phoenix, the early game went way too well for Team NIGMA. They're all so farmed. They can constantly just look for these fights. Seb nearly having AC to be able to counteract the opposing AC that Mind Control has. But yeah, Mind Control, the reason that he's been always known as like this best Nature's Prophet for the last few years. Top net worth, 9-3-14, the build. Excellent this game. It really did feel like the perfect game for it here.
Maybe Miracle.
I got the damage with the quiver as well too. Like, doesn't even use the E-Blade. The quiver damage plus that combo, it's too much. Ana? He's just dead.
Oh, no.
This game is quite impossible.
It's a pretty tough one, and things are falling rapidly apart. I mean, this one, overall, the lead that NIGMA's grown it's making it look even more one-sided than game one. Yep. Considering this was a game as well where OG had a sort of a grace period where they were able to slow things down, but the overall game plan just not looking to be there from OG as NIGMA. No. They've just come in with the smarter execution, and they're outplaying them completely. And as you say, Mind Control and the Prophet, maybe something that OG just weren't ready for. I mean, it's Mind Control. His Prophet's insane. As you say, we just don't see the hero too much from most teams, if any, in this region. Mind Control just showing us that he's as scary as ever on it.
Yeah, and it's smart picks from NIGMA, right? They see that early trial, they pick the Spectre to counter it.
And they're trying to jump RTW here.
Heals. It's too much.
It is. RTW just barely taking any damage at all. That Sunray coming up. The Sunray does come to an end though. See the Fear from the side trying to push them back. RTW is going to get rooted. They'll bring him down once. They can't do it again though. OG's got to back away with the Supernova going off. So Comes to the side, No-Tail caught outside the base. The brambles are down, No-Tail surrounded as they'll bring the Enchantress slowly out of the game.
Omni.
The Omni, she's there.
It's Browse.
Just under full HP. Anna's trying to push him with the Flame Fury onto Miracle. Will bring down the Tiny, but now the Flame Fury coming to an end. Anna's got to run. Microjoe commits him with the BKB. Kuro moving in with the Sunray as Kuro will finally fall to the Firestorm. But ILTW and Microjoe, they just smash into Thompson, take down the Drow. Another fight where OG just cannot come out on top.
Fortunate to even get some kills there as they do that high ground advantage to be able to take out at least the Phoenix and the Tiny. But yeah, LTW. So we said with that Aegis, level 25, he's got that dispersion talent plus the heals. They barely can actually hurt him. They even bring him down to once. My control, 7,400 gold for this man.
Oh, he's got the Trickster cloak as well if he wants to keep hold of it, ILTW, so...
Very nice pick.
Even more unkillable Saxa. 2 rounds of the hook shot. Buys time for Seb to come in, but ILTW in fact just jumps straight over the wall. Seb moves in with the illusion. Seb's gone. So is Saxa.
And now No-Tail, he's trapped.
I mean, ILTW might control. They're just going to keep pushing on. Alan's got to run. Pops the Blade Fury. He's making his way up to the base. RTW, he's tempted to chase.
He sure is.
He's moving in. There's no Blade Fury. There's no Omni Slash. Anna's just dying helpless here behind the tier 3 in the barracks.
The Spectre's just way too massive. No-Tail also likely to get brought down. Does have the Glimmer to survive for some time, but that does mean the Rax is going to get focus fired. And so, My Control gets the secondary sprout.
He's just going
try
in,
it.
My Control. He doesn't care about the tier 4 towers.
Oh, BKB.
He's fine. BKB.
And now 7-7. Oh, he's just dead.
Oh my goodness.
That was a buyback into an instant death, and they're going to get healed up
My
in the
Control's
sun.
out. ILTW is in no situation of threat at all. He'll TP away as the creeps will finish the Rax. Miracle comes in for the final hit.
Beautiful. Can they get the kill though? The Brute, he's stuck in place, and he cannot chase forward. Seb may have been tanky for some time, but versus this pure damage, Desolate just rips right through him.
RTW just having a fantastic series on the carry.
Yeah.
Both games, TB and then this one, the Spectre feels like he's getting even more involved this time around, and there he has it. He's found the illusion escape for himself. So
oh, baby.
His threat at the Spectre's going to be even bigger if he wants to hold on to that one.
If he even needs it. I feel like Trickster Cloak might just be better at this point because
just take
how tanky he is.
He's killing everyone anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't even need
a slight boost to the illusion damage.
Yeah, look at this. Just, you see, like, the way that ILTW understands, too. He's like, oh, who cares if Seb's tanky? I have pure damage. Rips right through the Underlord when he's isolated.
Oh, just looking fantastic, this series, NIGMA. They have turned up to this series very, very ready, and OG just... What do they do? My Control, give me the TPI, he's out. Again, GH giving the coverage with the fear, making sure that OG's not allowed the time space to continue to come in onto the Mind Control.
Saxa will die again. 14 deaths on the clock.
Level 27.
27. Trickster Cloak as well, providing all this evasion.
The Mind Control ready to jump forward from the take down No-Tail. Anna's trying to spin his way out with the Blade Fury with the damage and too much for the physical. Take down Anna. Take down Saxa.
Is under attack.
The G's are going to get dropped.
I mean, it's getting dangerously close to the fountain here now. Omni Slash again just doing nothing at this stage of the game as it's a dive back from Anna. Said he's going to try and lift himself out of the server. Only makes it as far as the fountain as everybody's dead. GG it is cool. Another rough one here from OG as NIGMA have just a beautiful series. Both games, Team NIGMA looking perfect.
They are, and it's really crazy to say. It's 50 kills on the team with the Spectre. The team with the Drow Jug only gets 17. Can't actually dictate the pace at all. NIGMA just on another level today. They hit their stride, super early aggression. Everybody on point working so well together. OG falling apart to this aggression.
A tough series. A lot of deaths were had this series. Poor old Saxa. I think Saxa ended up dying 31 times in these two games. Not an easy game for him to play in. As NIGMA, they were just making moves. I mean, the maximum deaths you're seeing on NIGMA is like 5 on GH, 5 on Miracle. It's just nothing in comparison because of... I mean, is this just for you when you look at this game? Well, what is it that's just allowed NIGMA to pop off even harder than what we saw in game 1?
They've got some really good counter picks, that's for sure. Like the Spectre versus that Drow. We see the damage just being able to shred versus Underlord. Or even even though there's atrophy aura, Spectre doesn't care about that in later stages. The Desolate is just piercing right through it. They also have just this clockwork. The game is not easy for him. We see these treants being difficult. We see the Shadow Realm being difficult. An egg comes out. There's not a lot of easy targets for OG to actually go for. And NIGMA, they just dictate the pace super quick with this first pick Tiny. It's a problem for teams. I think they're going to have to watch out for this.
I think so. You know, there's no doubt about it now after this series. Miracle Tiny. You've got to be very prepared for that if you're coming into a series against NIGMA, as both times coming out early and having a